very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, wait. So you give Bad Bunny, everyone else, the intro, but you don't give the Latino the Bad Bunny intro. I'm just saying. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yes, thank you for that intro. I am lucky enough to be Arizona's U.S. Junior Center, but as you just heard, I'm also very, very lucky to be husband of Sydney and 3 beautiful kids that don't sleep ever, and a very, very proud Marine. And as a Marine, I want to make sure we first start by honoring the men and women in uniform right now that are actually deployed tonight and have put themselves in harm's way by decisions to send our men and women to a war of choice. Because right now, our country is at a crossroads. This president has just dragged us into another war, an endless war in the Middle East, while families here in Montana are trying to figure out how to make rent, how to buy a home, how to pay the bills, how to even buy food. And where are your voices standing up for those Montana families? Because I gotta tell you right now, you have one senator who has just decided to up and quit, and another congressman has just decided to go no-show. But it is your families, your communities, and your service members that are gonna carry this burden for the rest of their lives. And what do we see from the corrupt political machine here? Nothing. And they're supposed to represent you. So just this week, I'm sure you guys may have heard of this, Steve Daines put his own political interests ahead of Montana voters. He rigged the system and undermined the democratic process. But I know something. I've met many of you today. You guys don't take a fight lightly. And let me tell you why. Steve Daines knew that, and he was afraid of y'all. Because you guys are almost as tough as Arizonans. You don't back down from a fight, and you don't stay quiet, and you sure as hell don't let a corrupt political machine decide your future. You stand up against corruption. Historically, you have stood up against corruption, against illegal wars, and for a country that you believe in and the future that we are going to build together. And that is what this moment demands of us as Americans and as Democrats. See, the pain you're feeling right now, the embarrassment you're feeling right now, is because of one man only, Donald Trump. Under his rule, we do not recognize this country, and we all feel that deep inside us, in our core as Americans. But beyond him, America knows that there is a much deeper problem. We see that this government is just not even on our side. That's why as Democrats, it is required, it is necessary, not just take on Trump, but again to fight the country that we want. This is a country that sent me, a poor kid, grew up sleeping on the floor of my mom's apartment, to the Senate floor. That is a great country. And that is the country that we want. You see, statistically, I was never supposed to be a US Senator. My father is a convicted drug dealer. He walked out on our family early in life. And there are a lot of people who have looked at Ruben Gallego and a kid like me and just said that boy had no future. But this country, when it's at its best, decides not to give up on Americans. Our country decided that I was not going to be forced to live the sins of my father. And that's why, even in a tough time, I wasn't being forced to live the way that he did. Our country decided I wasn't going to be forced to live that way. Because I know that America is a great country, and we could all agree to that, right? There is a saying in Spanish. There is a saying in Spanish. Queremos salir adelante. It's very simple. It means we want to get ahead. We want to move forward. And that's not just a Latino thing. That's an American thing. That's a Montana thing. It's what every parent wants for their kids, no matter what language you speak. It's what every American shares. We all want our kids to have it better than we did. More opportunity, quality education, a better life. That's the country that we want. My mom raised me and my 3 sisters on a secretary's salary. She got up early and went to bed late. She made sacrifice after sacrifice just to put food on that table. And every day, she instilled in us that value. Queremos salir adelante. She put all of us through college, all 4 of us through college. And when she was done, she went back to college and got herself a degree. That's America. From that little apartment, she raised a doctor, a teacher, a business owner, and a Marine who became a senator. That's the country we Democrats are creating. That's the country Democrats are fighting for. That if you work hard, you can succeed. You can buy a home. You can send your kid to college. You can have a dignified retirement. That's the country we want. But here's the truth. Right now, too many families here in Montana, in Arizona, they're working harder than ever and making less. Paychecks that used to pay the rent can't even pay the food bill anymore. Childcare costs more than rent. Trust me, I know. Buying home is absolutely out of reach for most of our young families in this country, no matter where you are. And it's because this country has stopped fighting for them. I remember hearing my mom crying at night. Just the stress of trying to figure out how she's going to make it the next day and lead a family in a very, very horrible situation. We Democrats cannot accept that world. We Democrats cannot accept to let any more parents have that feeling, especially when it is something that is done by choice by this administration and the Republicans in this country. My country, your country, taught me to take care of each other. That's why I was so proud to join the United States Marine Corps as a young man. The best fighting force in the world. I know there's a lot of Army guys, so I have to say that, sorry. Yeah, there's always one. But look, I wanted to serve this country. This country gave me an opportunity that I never would have gotten if my family had stayed in Mexico and Colombia. My brothers and I went to the war in Iraq, and unfortunately, we saw some of the hardest days. And now it seems just like deja vu. What we're seeing in Iran is a war of choice. A war of choice. A war with no end, and a war with no plan or exit strategy. Does that sound familiar? And tragically, we've already lost 6 service members, and I feel for them, and I hope there is no more, because we cannot deal and see another Iraq war in our hands. I know I saw it, I felt it, and I still have friends that I lost, and I remember every day. But even worse, when we came home, many of us just wanted to be normal again. We wanted to get our lives together. But like many veterans, this country was so quick to send us off, they could care less what they did when they got us back. I just wanted to get ahead. Just wanted to get ahead. Salir adelante. That's all I wanted. I had worked my ass off. I really had to get into Harvard. And I'll be honest, I just wanted to be rich. All that work, that's all I needed. But the scars stayed with me, they stayed with my brothers, and I realized that no one was coming to take care of us. No one was caring about us. No one cared what we did for this country. They just wanted us to be gone. And I was extremely disillusioned by both parties. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. But we can call to the best of this country because we need to remember that we are bound together, that we are not enemies, that we are all Americans, and that this country is not just some building in Washington, D.C., it is actually us. And if we band together, we will get the country that we want. So let's do this. I know this won't happen overnight, but I know we will get there, because everywhere I go, I meet Americans that still will not back down, even after everything's been thrown their way. A lot of them are in this room right now. God's sakes, I know how far a lot of you guys drove for this, so I definitely know that's true. And look, Arizona used to be a ruby red state. We used to actually borrow Montanans to come work on our campaigns to teach us how to win races. It was hard. It was hard to win races. We had to convince people to get out there. We had to convince people to run for office. And every day we went and we went. But let me tell you, as someone who won a Trump state in 2024, MAGA Republicans can be defeated here in Montana. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how. Because you win by organizing. You win by showing up. You win by voting. And you win by building the power that makes these corrupt elites scared. So yes, you are going to fight, Montana, and you're going to win in 2026 and beyond. And let me tell you, with that momentum, you will change the state, you will change this country, and you will make your children proud. Because, like Arizonans, I'm a good politician, I just gotta bring it back to my state. Y'all are tough, I see it. But you're just not gonna hand your future over to these elites. You're just not gonna give up without a fight. So, my ask of you tonight, as Democrats, independents, there might be a couple Republicans hiding out there, and we want you still part of this coalition, obviously. I ask you, remember the country that you want. Fight for that country. Sign up to volunteer. Knock on those doors. Get on those phones. Donate that last dollar you can to that Democrat that needs that help. Because together, we can win this. Together, Montana can have a great 2026. And more importantly, we can build that country that we want. Thank you so much. Go get 'em, Montana. All right, there we go.